of our members here in the Bear Bull Traders room. It's Peter speaking. I'm the one you see on the camera. Sorry, I got Brian with me. We don't have him set up with a camera yet. That's my fault.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And
Good afternoon.
yeah, we'll be looking at the markets, see what's going on.
So we got the SPY is pushing higher here. Looks like we're getting close to the high of the day here, aren't we? How does this look?
It's at high of day, yes.
Yeah, it is high of the day. Yes. Who'd have thought? Come out with a $3 million unemployment insurance claims, and the market just goes higher.
3 million people. Yeah, you're right. It's been a weird.
Just was great news.
I guess we can't even say it's been a weird day because it's just weird times, right? Like every day's got a new element of weirdness we can deal with.
It's true. Yeah. So what do we got here? So SPY tried to break out, pulling back a bit. See where it goes from here. Just watching Delta right now. DAL trying to push higher, trying to break out from one of these moving averages.
Sorry, Art. Look, I'll turn on my camera. Well, maybe can I turn on my camera? Let me see. I'm going to try and turn on my camera in the room here.
P2N Peloton shares popping to the high 25.96. Papa Tango Oscar November.
Maybe not. Seems my camera is being dominated by my streaming feed to YouTube. So, sorry, Art. If you want to see my beautiful face, you're going to have to go to YouTube to see it. I can't seem to put it up in the room and on YouTube at the same time. Trust me, you're probably better off without it anyways.
Yeah. Come on, Peter. Be honest. Well, we've got Peloton pushing up here.
Peloton. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I haven't thought of Peloton for a while. Let's take a look at Piton.
We've got a big stack of bids here at 26. What have we got further down the level 2? There really isn't much in terms of any kind of signal above 29. Maybe a bit at 29.16. Some bids, there's some asks there. Here goes DAL, pushing higher.
Fed Chair Powell, in some comments now, says working on Main Street business lending program, says will come once the stimulus bill passes.
Yes, DAL. AAL, oh my goodness.
That was a nice little move on DAL.
Yeah.
Daily on Peloton looks like 26.25 might be or 26.30 might be a level that it's could get to.
By the way,
somewhere in that range.
For those joining us on YouTube, sorry, Brian. Just wanted to mention the disembodied voice that I didn't mention. We have one of the things we provide to all of our members in the room is a Benzinga news feed with a squawk feature where it reads out live news articles. So he'll be announcing some of the news. You should get that through the feed. If there's an odd pause, it's usually because we're waiting for the news feed. It should come through onto YouTube. Let me know if you're hearing odd breaks without a third voice that's not Brian or myself there, and then I know it's not, and maybe we'll work on getting that ready. But it should be good. I think it was you could hear it yesterday.
Okay.
Did you made the joke this morning, Brian, about having your cake and eating it too? Did you have any cake today?
Did I trade cake today? I think no, I did not. Just looking at my trades, I did not trade cake.
I took a
It was
short
kind of
on
an interesting.
cake off the
Yeah,
open,
go
but it
ahead.
was a short-lived trade because I took it short and then it sort of hit a moving average where I took a partial and then came right back and I said, all right, maybe this isn't going down. And sure enough, you were right because you had called that pre-market to say, look, this could be one of those that really springs up, and obviously look what it did.
Yeah, some there's a particular pattern that seems to play out fairly regularly, and that is a stock will be gapping down, but during the pre-market, it'll start trading above the VWAP. And as we go into the open, if it's still trading above the VWAP, I've noticed that 9 times out of 10, you'll get there'll be a short squeeze or some kind of pop. In other words, it'll stay strong, and it'll get stronger as we get into the market open. So that was the case with cake. Actually, I just noticed it was gapping down, but trading above the VWAP.
Right.
Going into the open. So I thought it was a pretty safe bet that it was going to do a continuation move higher.
Seems odd that on the news it's up on the day, but I suppose from a business perspective, I mean, the news being that they had sort of publicly announced that they are not paying any rent to any landlord for all of their properties for the month of April, which I thought was a bold move, but they may actually get a lot of support from that, so we'll see what happens. There's probably not a lot of sympathy for commercial landlords out there in times like this. So.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they're business owners as well, but we'll see what happens. We are in, like I said, strange times, right? Who knows what to expect? So.
Definitely.
They're rude. Alistair, you feel that they're rude? All corporate landlords, all rude. Every one of them.
Well, a lot of them are the malls, right?
Yeah. Well, I said they're often they're key tenants, right? Because they have big properties. Like I've never been to a small cheesecake factory. I've never been to a cheesecake factory that looks remotely like the one in Big Bang Theory either. I mean, so they have big properties, big ceilings, lots of, really sort of custom designed everything in there. And as Norm pointed out, encyclopedic, if I can say the word. Anyway, big menus.
Yeah. Well, we've got some interesting price action going on here. We've got, what have we got going on? We've got the market still kind of choppy mode here. Tried to break out, failed. I think, and the VIX. The VIX is going down.
Look at AMD. Wow.
Which is interesting as well. What does that mean? It means that some volatility, anticipated volatility, is coming out of the market.
We saw that divergence yesterday too, right? Where normally it moves sort of opposite of the direction of the market. We've got a sideways chopping market. It's interesting that it's doing it again this afternoon.
Well, this is more kind of what you'd expect after some couple of up days. You would expect some volatility to come out of the market, which is what we are getting today. But as you pointed out, we commented on this yesterday. Market was going up, and so was volatility at the same time.
Right.
So people obviously still nervous about the market reversing, and it actually did at the end of the day there. What are we in? We're 12:41. I don't think we're going to get a sell-off today. Could prove me wrong in the last 20 minutes, but I think we're going to hold we're going to hold here.
It's bold
Now
making a prediction either way, I feel. But all right, we'll see.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, what are we going to do? Interestingly, we are, we are seeing a nice bounce here from the oversold levels that we had a couple of days ago, and this is pretty much similar to what you would anticipate in a bear market. And I actually read an interesting article that sort of described the three phases of a kind of sell-off event that we've had. So the first phase is this massive sell-off that we've already experienced, and now we're in the second phase, which is a bounce phase where everybody starts to feel good about the market, where that the market's going to come back. And then the third phase is actually this slow grind lower, which will happen over extended period of time. And I obviously we're not into the third phase, and who knows if we actually will get that. But this is sort of the typical thing you'd expect, or based on past history anyway.
Well, it's interesting. Like you said, it'll be interesting to see if we get to that, because the market certainly over the last decade hasn't operated the way it normally does, right? I mean, nobody expected a bull run to go as long as it has, and we've had pullbacks in it, but always recovered. So here we are looking at it now. I'm just looking at a weekly chart, and and
I don't think. I was going to say, I don't think, when have we ever had zero interest rates too, right? I mean, the bottom, the whole reason, one of the reasons the market kept driving higher was, we had, zero interest rates. So we had what everyone was calling this TINA environment, which is, stocks. There is no alternative to stocks, because, you put your money in a treasury, it's earning basically zero.
Right. Not even keeping up with inflation. Yes.
Yeah. So it was forcing people to go into the market, into the stock market. So I don't, we haven't been in this kind of a situation before. So it's a little interesting in that regard.
Zoom has really been moving sideways this afternoon. Nothing going on there much. Boeing, I tried to trade Boeing earlier just to get a feel for it, and man, it's choppy. It's hard. Big spread, big moves. Don't really follow any pattern that I could see. I did not have fun. All right. Well, we got 15 minutes to the close. After the close, we've got some earnings. Got my eye on a couple things, Brian. I don't know if you got anything that you're specifically looking at, but I'm looking for one of your favorites.
Groupon getting a pop to the high now. Golf Romeo pop in November. Groupon, 99 cents. GRPN.
Okay. Lulu?
Yes, Lulu, one of my favorite clothing supplier.
Exactly. One of your favorites there. Lulu has got earnings. GME, GameStop, which I can only say I'm sort of surprised they're still in business, but they're still out there. KBH is one. KB Home. It's not huge, but sort of moving to the second tier. And then the other one is SAIC, which is a larger company, but not one that we normally trade. I haven't seen good movement on it, but those are the four that I have on my radar.
Okay, well, sounds like a good four to look at.
I'll do a quick scan here and see if there's anything else that has popped up for earnings. It's such a funny earnings session when we all, every company has a preset expectation as to what they are or aren't going to do, right? Like we're not really expecting somebody to have great earnings, and then look at MU. MU had great earnings, and then I don't know, people don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, MU was a difficult trade today, no question.
Like it was after hours yesterday. I would say it reacted the way you would expect for an earnings play. It popped up, it kept going up. Went from $44 to $47, I think, after hours. And so that, or 42, sorry, up to almost 46.50, sorry. But then it settled around 44, and today we've really just been sort of chopping along that line. So it's almost like, now that we're into the market, people don't know what to do with Micron. And I'm thinking, what impact is that going to have on the next set of earnings? So I guess we'll find out. But like Lulu could have some stunning earnings. They often have great numbers.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if you look at Nike,
Right.
if you gauge the reaction from the Nike earnings, and Lulu's
DB, Bloomberg reporting that Deutsche Bank has paused job cuts to avoid distress during the coronavirus outbreak. That's Delta Bravo, DB.
Yeah, but Nike had a good response to their earnings.
Right.
But Lulu's kind of followed Nike up. I'm not, my Lulu's looking pretty extended from that severe sell-off that happened. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd.
BURG, Chanticleer Holdings hitting a new high, 92 cents.
I do not like to hold stocks through earnings events. It feels like too much of a bit of a crapshoot, and this earnings season in particular, who knows how things are going to behave. If you look at the way Micron behaved, it wasn't all that predictable.
Yeah.
Usually in a different market, Micron, would have gapped up in the aftermarket, and then the next morning we would have seen a little drop at the open, and then it would have been off to the races probably for another 6 or 7 or 8%. But that wasn't the case today. It just ended up choppy.
Yep. Exactly.
So it's really hard to gauge.
So Brian, I was having a geek discussion earlier because I was saying I was actually coming onto the microphone this afternoon, so I was having an argument with a friend of mine. Are you? Would you consider yourself a geek?
Letter X, U.S. Steel to start furnace outages sooner at Gary and Great Lakes. That's letter X.
Is this a
U.S. Steel?
Trick question?
Not really. I just was, we were having an argument as to if you're. So I want to see if you get the reference, right? So if you're an intergalactic hitchhiker, is it sufficient to know where your towel is?
HP popping to the high on volume. Hotel Papa Quebec.
Or do you have to keep your towel with you at all times?
I'm sorry. What were you? I didn't catch the
S&P
first part.
futures now spiking here sharply. Futures are spiking here.
So this is when our
2607, 2609.
This is when our Benzinga feed guys usually has he sort of gives a lot of market recap stuff, so we may end up
2610 now, up 141.
All right, let me try. If I don't get it out, I'm going to shut him off. I was saying, Brian, if you're an intergalactic hitchhiker, is it sufficient to know where your towel
popping
is?
To the high.
I'm shutting him off. Is it sufficient to know where your towel is, or do you have to have it with you at all times?
If you're an intergalactic hitchhiker?
Yeah.
Your towel. Well, I would want to know where my towel is at all times.
You have to at least.
Definitely.
Anyways, there's a reference to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the Douglas Adams classic. We were just having an argument with a friend. Simmer, Brian didn't share his tequila with me, which I'm a little upset about, but I just always, sort of act like I'm drunk, so you have to deal with that. Keep a constant buzz, because you can't be you can't be drunk all day if you don't start in the morning. So
Roku finding a little bit of gas here with the market.
yeah, the SPY just sort of gapped up here. Do you see that big jump it just made?
Yeah.
Oh, let me see if Squawk's telling me anything. I'll give him one more shot. Chris, yeah, Chris, you're absolutely correct. I mean, I didn't, the famous tagline, right, from those books, don't panic, printed on the outside of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That is the number one rule. Same thing absolutely does apply to trading. Yeah, let me know if you guys can catch a trade. I'm not able to trade here into the close, so I'll just be watching. I'd love to see what you guys are trading. Anybody in a trade in the room right now? A couple people. MU. Work. Boeing. All right, so you guys have got a few things going. Peloton. Oh, there's Brian's Peloton. Let's see what good old Peloton is doing. Well, it's up here. Wow, that's quite a leap up that the SPY made. That's
Yeah, no kidding, eh? The VIX is really selling off here.
I guess I should know better than to ever question the Brian. You said you didn't think it was going to sell off. You certainly you didn't have to prove it so emphatically. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, look at that, eh? VIX is really getting sucked in here.
I haven't looked at MGM today. What's it up to? MGM. What's going on? Is MGM? What's going on? My charts might be acting weird. Has MGM been halted today, or no? I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Everything's popping here. Got Roku popping. Just everything's just going higher. The life is good.
Yeah, guys, we've got so my apologies.
S&P futures 23.75. The high now up 156.
On the feed here, I've got a little bit of lag. My machine is struggling with everything that's going on. We're working on that. One of the side effects of being in a pandemic is that it's really hard ordering equipment. It's just none of our supply chains are working as to their optimal capacity. So
as they are supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. So it never. It's funny. Some of these things don't occur to you till it happens personally, right? Like I was saying, unfortunately, I had someone text me today just an hour ago or so, and one of her relatives passed away, who was actually her uncle, but he was on a cruise ship. So
oh boy,
he passed away from the virus on a cruise ship in Brazil, and they're never going to see his remains again because they're cremating on site. They're not shipping them anywhere out of fear, which is probably not unreasonable. But in any event, so these things start to affect you personally.
Yeah.
So to a much lesser degree, I'm not going to be particularly worried about it, but it is weird to see that. It is just weird to see that when you just go to do something you would take for granted, like I would take for granted that I could go online, find myself something I want, order it, and it will be delivered to me. It doesn't quite work as expected.
So, so you're trying to order a new computer?
I am.
It's,
I said I can't trade while I'm broadcasting just because my device is not really up to it. data requirements get a little heavy. My system here keeps flashing that's lost connection to the order server, and then it comes back again. So we're seeing a little bit of a delay. My feed.
Okay. Well, Uber's trying to get through the high of the previous day. Just keeps stalling out here. The SPY is struggling after that big
Coming
surge.
After the close, earnings from GME, GameStop, and LU Lululemon, both at 4:05 p.m. KBH, KB Home at 4:10 p.m. At 4:10 p.m. PRGS Progress Software at 4:15 p.m.
There we go. Some earnings he's announcing. Wow. Well, this is good. I like it. And I've talked about this in days past, guys. To me, it's always a good sign when the market sort of ends on an uptick. I like to see the market pushing up into the close. I really do not want to see this market tumble further, but it's likely that it will. But this is our third green day in a row, and not three like very tiny green days. They've actually been fairly substantial. I mean, we're up 6% today. So that's a good showing on any given day, especially in the current economic climate. So I know that we're obviously just clawing back some of what we lost in the previous weeks, but still, it's not bad. So this is good, and tomorrow we wait and see whether it'll be more green or some red or a little bit of both.
Can you bring up a SPY chart?
I got a 2 minute. What do you want?
Yeah, I'd like to see. Can you put up a 60-minute SPY chart?
Can. There you go.
Okay, so I just want to point something out here, and I'm finding. I guess I haven't looked at this just recently here. Just give me a second. Wow. Okay. SPY. I'm just going to look at the SPY chart, because what I was noticing, and I don't know if it's still earlier, this move we've had on the 60, let's say on a 60-minute,
right,
1 hour. Update my chart here. We did get a cross back. I'm just looking at the MACD. We did get a cross back at the sort of the bottom on March 23rd, and we've had a slow moving average above the or the fast moving average crossed above the slow moving average on MACD, and it looks like we're kind of narrowing again, which maybe tells me
CVTI, Covenant Transportation, suspend stock buyback plan.
Sorry.
I'm also looking at the 60-minute. If we look at it, we've kind of had a couple of waves of buying and selling. Usually, with these waves, you usually waves. You get the first wave up, pull back, second wave up, pull back,
That's
and
weird.
the third wave up is usually short.
Is
usually shorter.
Your microphone's cutting in and out. Is anyone else hearing that? Or is it just me?
Oh, maybe it's is it in Benzinga too? Anyway, we're on the third wave. What looks to me on a 60-minute chart, we're on a third wave higher here, and I don't know. Feels like we might be running out of gas. Who knows?
Well, I see what you're saying, Brian. If I look at the 60-minute here, the 24th was all the way up, and then it pulled back the beginning of the 25th. So it would be wave 1. Wave 2 went up the rest of yesterday, and then down towards the end of yesterday and into the open, and then now we're on that third wave, as you pointed out. So
Yeah.
That's a good point. So I've turned Squawk off, so we don't have to worry about that, and we'll see what announcements. Just a couple of minutes. It's 5 after, apparently, when Lulu and GameStop should be announcing, so that'll be the big two. The other ones, KBH doesn't announce till 10 after 4. And SAIC, it's quarter after, so we'll see if we make it there. So I'm not usually that interested in trading SAIC anyways, but we'll see what we get. Yeah, see, I look at the price action during the day today. It was pretty terrible. Volume wasn't even 1 million shares, so I don't expect much to happen post-market anyway, so I may not even stick around for that. Certainly, though, the other three I will want to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Not many people trading Lulu right now as we're waiting to see what happens. Got almost zero volume going through.
Yep, volume, yeah. So Lulu did a nice surge into the close there.
15
minutes. Wow. That's amazing. Lulu jumped up about $6.
Yep.
In the last 15 minutes, $7 in the last 15 minutes. It surged back over $2, $200, I should say.
I was gonna say it's a bargain now.
It's a bargain at $2, exactly.
I know a lot of our members attended. Actually, speaking of the webinar, yeah, Steve, that webinar was fantastic. We had Ed Martin on, and he was talking about how to trade earnings after hours. So it was good, and watching his strategy and how he does it. He's very transparent with what he does. He was sitting on not an earnings play, but he'd taken a long in Boeing, and he was sitting on a $20,000 trade at the time. Now, if he still held it. Gosh, because it was worth 20 grand when the price was 165 at 180 here. It's got to be 30 grand by now, so it's pretty good. It's pretty awesome to see. And then he had a couple of good trades on. Actually, had one on Nike, and I think he traded MU. I can't remember. Did he sell some, J Hood? Okay, well that's good to know. See you, Hiltzy. Have a great evening. Thanks for being here with us. Yeah, I wouldn't blame him. I'd sell some. Are you kidding me? How could you not?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Lulu is reporting. It's not really doing much, is it?
Lulu.
Oh, maybe it is. It's jumping up now.
So
big spread, 200 to 204 on the bid ask.
Yeah. Let me pull up a screen.
Now it's now the spread is 199 204.
We can look at what this is doing here. Well, that dropped to 199 200 now. Certainly dropping fast. My data's coming in here a little slower. Seems they beat on earnings. On earnings per share. So I don't know what their revenue number was though. Let's see if Lulu, here it goes. So they beat by 4 cents on earnings, and they beat by, well, not lots, 20 million on sales. So essentially they met their sales estimate.
Yeah.
see if we have any news on my buddy KBH. Doesn't seem like KBH is out yet. Or sorry, GameStop, that's what I'm looking for.
Cheap.
Yeah. Nothing yet.
Ooh. That
I
may
see.
not be.
Lulu doesn't really have the it doesn't have the volume to be able to trade it after hours, frankly. I mean, this movement, as we said, it went up from 204 all the way down to 196. But if I look, the total volume transacted over that period of time was like 13,000 shares total. So it's not it's not enough for me, anyways. Let's see if GME. Let's take a peek at GME. See if it's doing anything different. GME, look at that. It's really up. They've got a little more volume. The last minute they traded 50,000 shares, 49,000. So it's obviously a much cheaper stock here. But
All right, Peter, we'll have a good rest of the...
wow. They really beat on earnings.
Who's that? GameStop?
GameStop. The estimate was 84 cents. They made $1.27. That's pretty significant.
I'm sure they're going to do... they're probably going to do well. I think a lot of kids are probably entertaining themselves with games.
It could be. I mean, but if they're all quarantined, they're probably buying them online.
Yeah, that's true.
So their sales missed. So their sales revenue numbers were down. The estimate was 2.24 billion, and they did 2.19 billion. So they're off by a bit there. But they did beat, as I said, on earnings. I've got different estimates here, but the actual is the same at $1.27. So either way, they beat. So I think GME is going to go on my list for tomorrow morning. It should be one that's in play. Lulu, I don't normally trade. Brian, I know you've traded in the past, but it's never been a great one for me.
Not recently.
Yeah. Let me put it down on my list here so we keep an eye on it. There you go. Whew. It's been a busy week here in our trade room because we've had a couple of different seminars in the evening, which has been great. So we had Martin last night, and we had our dual psychologists. We actually have some in-house psychologists that help us with trading psychology. Dr. Steenbarger and Dr. Katz were with us. That was on Tuesday night. That was a fantastic session. Our lifetime members can access the recording of that in our lifetime members recordings room. So you can get all that stuff there. And I'll ask anybody that's still with us or is watching on YouTube if, hit the like button if you liked what you saw. Put some comments in there. And don't be afraid to email us at any time. We'd love to hear from you, either comments on it or you can send us comments. My email is peter@bearbulltraders.com. Love to hear what you think. Anything you think we should change or improve. We're just trying this out. Talking into the close here. I mean, we do this in the room every day for our members, but we thought we'd share it since everybody's at home now. Why not? Let's talk to a broader audience. So,
yeah. Good deal, everybody. Well, let's see how we open tomorrow. It'd be interesting.
Yeah. You're cutting out on me again, Brian.
I think the volatility is looking like it's getting sucked out of the market.
Yeah.
So
KBH.
he's up.
Sorry. I don't know if it's your mic or if it's something on my end, Brian. The room was saying that you were cutting out for them as well, but.
Oh, okay. I don't know why that would be. I don't think I'm doing anything different.
No, normally in the morning you were fine. KBH is shooting up here. Sorry.
No. I'm just saying, how is this right now? Am I cutting out or?
Right now you sound fine.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm moving around or something.
Yeah. So KBH is giving a mixed message here. They actually beat on the last quarter. They beat both on revenue, so top and bottom line, revenue and earnings. But they're also saying that they're going to withdraw their FY20 guidance. So again, no surprise there. I can't imagine there's anybody that's not pulling back any previously issued guidance and reassessing. But they are seeing a pop here. They closed around $19. It's up around 21 right now. Not a lot of volume, though, that's pushing this. We're only seeing about 20,000 shares being traded. So. Nagaraj, you're asking some comments on the market. Yeah, it was choppy today, especially through the afternoon. I mean, you just have to look at a chart of the SPY to say ever since, probably from about 11:30, I found essentially right through to the close. I mean, we didn't move much, right? The market's just sort of chopped up and down. I mean, the morning had a good little pull up, but after that, I found it hard to trade. I sort of got chopped out of every trade I took. So.
All right. Well, I'm going to drop off here. I hope everyone had a good day, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. That's all we can do.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Well, looks like the VIX is thinking about heading lower here. All right. Have a good one, everybody. We'll catch up with everyone in the morning.
All right. Thanks so much, Brian.
Pre-market show. Good enough.
Yes, indeed.
Cheers,
Thanks
everybody.
a lot. Thanks a lot. Those of you that were wondering how to join us, I see a couple of questions on that. You can join with a if you wanted to try us out, we're happy for you to try us out here. Let me just move things out of the way here. You can try us out for a 1-week trial using the code premarket24. You can use that. Or if you just want to join us full time and try. If you wanted to join as a lifetime member, we do have a discount of 40% off our lifetime discount. Now, it is on the single payment. We do have a monthly payment plan, but if you pick the monthly payment plan, it's not applicable. But you can join us for 40% off using the code St. Patrick's. So use that, and we'd love to see you in the room. Happy, then you could talk with us through the chat. And that would be fantastic. So hopefully we'll see you in the room soon. And I just realized that my head is over top of that bottom discount, but it's pre-market 24. Let me do something like this here. Here, I'll move it over here. That way you can see them better. All right. Hey, and Dustin saying that he just signed up for membership. Thanks. We appreciate that, Dustin. Welcome. It's good to have you here. Were you with us all day? Thanks, Sean. Appreciate that. Just signed up 30 minutes ago. Well, that's awesome. Well, welcome then. So you missed the pre-market. It's always great. Andrew obviously trades in the morning as our leader. He takes the opens since he's pounding it out and doing great. Then Brian's usually on the microphone trading, and then we have Norm and Thor and Eamon, who does some great trade reviews and trades with us, as well as Mike and myself. So we've got a whole team here that'll help you trade, let alone everybody in this room is fantastic. And look at this, everybody's welcoming you, Dustin, in the room. That's great to see. So it's cool to see. For those on YouTube, if you have never seen our room, let me just bring it over. You can sort of see what, problem is you're going to, here, I'll put it just way over on this side, because otherwise you're going to get the room like repeating itself a million times. So there you go. So that's just the chat function. The screen is sort of what you would see, but everybody's in the room, and there were comments up here and our announcements, and then down below is where everybody has a conversation going back all day. It's great as all our members and our longtime contributors comment. So welcome, Dustin. We look forward to having you in the room with us. All right, with that takes us through the end of our program here. Apologies for the screen delay. As I mentioned, got to get myself a new device. We'll work on that. But thanks so much for joining us. Safe trading. Don't forget to journal your trades. It's very important you do that every single day. And we will see you back here for the pre-market show, live on YouTube and in the room at 8:30. I open the room at 7:30 with our scanners and information that happens at that time. And then I said we live trade right through to the close. So talk to everybody later. Have a great night. Take care.